Senthil Kumar from Chennai is asking, any news on the 7-seater SUV or MUV from Volkswagen to be launched in India? Well, Senthil, there has been so much talk about it, but we still can't confirm anything to you about what you're asking. That is the Taigun, the concept that was shown at the last Auto Expo in 2014 in New Delhi. But what I can tell you is that, of course, the Tiguan will be the next SUV launching from Volkswagen. This is the compact SUV, though it's not that compact because it will still have 3 rows of seating, and so it kind of qualifies into that MUV space. However, it will be fairly premium, and so expect prices in the same territory as the Toyota Fortuner. It launches early next year. Next question is from Gaurav Dhingra in Delhi, and it's a great question. I want to buy a new set of tyres for my i10. Does it make any difference in performance if I opt for a different tyre manufacturer with the same configuration? Now, the same configuration, Gaurav, is very important, of course, because it won't change or affect the overall performance of your car itself, because those tyres are to spec. Now, you can go for fatter tyres if you do want better grip and better handling, but remember to always check with the manufacturer or dealer to make sure that you're staying in the right realm. Of course, fatter tyres will affect the fuel efficiency of the car just a little bit. But going back to your question, largely the answer is no, it won't make any difference which manufacturer you go with. However, remember that different manufacturers of tyres use different grades of rubber, and so you get something that's a little bit softer or a little more cushiony. It will make a difference in the way the car handles and rides. Could also affect, of course, the way it accelerates, but for the most part, in the segment that you're talking about, you won't find too much difference between the different radials, and of course, I'm assuming you're going in for the regular tubeless tyres. It's Varun from Jaipur who's asking me the next question. Please help me decide between the Suzuki Gixxer SF and the Pulsar AS150. A lot of people have been asking this question. In fact, Varun, it sounds really familiar to me, and the right answer here is it depends which kind of bike you're looking for. The Suzuki Gixxer SF is supposed to be a sports bike. So of course, remember, it's the regular Gixxer with this fairing that's been slapped on. However, it gives you the sport bike appeal. Now, the AS, the Adventure Sport, is not meant to be a sport bike at all. It's trying to be a tourer. So in attribute and in performance terms, the two bikes aren't very different from their other counterparts in the same range. Having said that, in terms of looks and appeal, they certainly are. And so if you want something that has a slightly upright posture and is good for long sort of distance driving, then you've got to go in for the AS. But if you want to show off a little bit of that sporty fairing and the cool colors as well that you get on that motorsport inspired SF, well then of course you go in for the SF. And finally, I'm going to take in a quick question that I got on Twitter. A tweet from Manjunath says that he wants to buy a Polo TDI. He's asking, should he go in or wait for the government report to come out and any possible corrective measures from Volkswagen? Well, Manjunath, the simple answer there for you is that, of course, it's always good to wait and see what happens. However, on the Polo TDI, we're not really expecting to see any changes. That engine was never under cloud, and so unless there's another surprise around the corner from Volkswagen, I would say that it's a fairly safe bet right now to go ahead with that car. Remember, if there is something that does come up, the company will be mandated, maybe by the government and by its own internal processes, to in any case announce some kind of a corrective recall or a measure which would simply be a retuning or a parts change, something that you will be entitled to as a customer in any case. So from that perspective, I think you're covered if you go ahead right now. If you can wait, do wait, but remember, it could be an indefinite one.